Already to challenge the Lakehouse itself, Cascade Arsenal, no interrogation, and no moving bodies. So it's no interrogation on Lakehouse, which is not really all that great, since ideally we'd be able to just interrogate the camera operator so that we can, well, find out who the head of security is, which we can't really do right now, or at least not all that easily. And because no interrogation, no moving bodies is rather closely tied together in the sense that, hi there you. For a start, we just have you be lured over here. We really have two main choices here. We could either just take out as few guards as possible and then afterwards just hope that the remaining guards don't see anything. Or alternatively, we could take out as many guards as possible and then just not have to worry about no moving bodies. But if we were to do that, we would actually have to be concerned about, well, not being able to answer all that many radios, which it's not that great when we haven't taken out the head of security and we therefore still have the radios active over here. So we're just gonna go over here and get this open so that we can, well, start finding out who the head of security is so that we could just have the radios not be a problem and then take everyone out. I mean, finally there's Cascade Arsenal, which is quite simple. We still have the shotgun, and if we really wanted, we still actually have a sniper, which means that we've got a very simple solution to all of things, which is to just, well, not have to be encumbered by spending a bit of extra time to either drill open a door, use a keycard to get a door open, or use a scrambler to get a door open, which are all technically options, it's just maybe not some relatively stellar options. So we're just going to go over here, check for that, which it's not in there, and afterwards we're just going to go over here instead and check for this over here, which it is in fact in here. So we could very well make do with that, and then we could just get this open and actually hostage them. Because we can at least do this, even though it's not all that important, but then again, it's still something that we could, in theory, do, but it's just maybe not all that effective. Now then, we can actually search this file, and maybe we're gonna get a code on our first attempt, which will be absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case, and there's no other files, which is fine, I suppose, but speaking of which, we're just going to search this over here as we stare vaguely over there, since that's kind of where the guard's going to be going back through. And now we kind of know exactly what... Well, the last file is going to be the one that actually has the information that we want, so we're just going to search that, and it's going to go just fine. So now that we have the code, we're still not going to go inside since we are kind of going after the head of security, which we can very well do. It's just that maybe going downstairs right now is not the best idea, so that we... well, don't end up getting... Hi there, you. Well then, we've got a body right over here, which is maybe not all that great. And then we've got 3 other guards that we have to clear, whilst trying to make sure that they don't actually go in there and notice a body that's, I suppose, conveniently hidden right behind over there. It's just maybe not that well hidden, so if we have anywhere close to something that's a suboptimal scenario, then, well, things are gonna be a lot more inconvenient than what's going on right now. So, just so the cyber knows, the door's right vaguely over there. And I suppose once everyone is somewhere convenient, we could just have all of you stay over there, be vaguely attentive, or... well, I suppose the whole just not having you notice anything works, so sure. Now, there is that one last guard, which... I mean, that works, and we could just get this open now, and then afterwards we could just clear the outside area, since... ideally we would still do that, since it's... well, here's the head of security, and here's the cameras, so in other words, it's not really our main concern here, even though we should probably have been a bit more careful when we're trying to leave this room over here, since there is kind of a body right in the doorway, which maybe not all that great for not getting caught, so for now we're just going to try and have a vague idea of where all of the guards are, so that we can just, well, kind of plan about where everything's going to happen and where everything's going to be, which, considering that one's over here, and the other one's over here, we just have to do that over there, and then afterwards just vaguely look around and make sure that things are most definitely clear. And considering that the other one got outside over there, Cyber got a radio over there, and then afterwards the head of security is now back inside over here, things should be all clear, so we're just gonna go outside over there, and then afterwards grab a bag and just grab all of the remaining intel, because we can, and that's the only reason. That's there's not really any other reason to it, so we're just gonna go with exactly that. Go through here. And then, well, interestingly enough, notice that this guard is just... Well, I mean... It's not really a bad view, is it? Just that the guard's not really facing the right direction, but... I suppose that works out, sure. Right then, now that we have spent a bit of time on doing whatever that was, we're just gonna go in through here and then actually start collecting some intel boxes, since that's kind of what we want to do. So for a start, we're gonna go for the one that's gonna be right around here, right in there, which... Hello there. But we've got 2 more to grab, so if we can find one over here, which... we just did, we kind of know where the last one is because we saw that earlier, and then, well, we could just grab that on the way out, and then afterwards... quite simply, get right out of here. Which is what we're going to do right now as we run through here, run over here, and then afterwards get out over here. Now, Cyber does have the heavier bag, which is the Y, which is the bag of server, or no, more accurately, the bag containing a server. And right then, we're just going to wait over here since there's still someone behind us as we awkwardly wait over here for... I mean, you know, if I could actually shoot a camera, that would be quite nice. It's... There we go. So after expending around 10 bullets, we're just gonna go over here. And that's the daily challenge in just over 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, could we have just not shot the cameras and done it under 6 minutes and 15 seconds? Yes, but is it really all that necessary? No, not really. Nor shooting the cameras, but regardless, cheers everyone. Have a great time.